your life, what you call life, or what I call life now, started with an influence, a voice, speaking into your ear, telling you and showing you what's normal, what's acceptable, the way it should be. Okay? And then along with it came all of these anger and emotions as people perpetrated on us. And let me just speak to a race issue right now too. Let me just take a little rabbit trail. The harm and the damage that was done to you, and I can say this as a white man, you could say this if you were a white female, you could say this if you were a black female, you could say this if you were a black male, a Chinese person, a German person, a Polynesian person, makes no difference. The harm that was done to you was done to you by the people that were within arm's reach of you. It was not someone of another race, another culture. In most cases, we are the way we are because we were surrounded by folk we called kin. And they perpetrated on us, they harmed us, they told us what to think, they told us what normal was supposed to be. They set the limitations, they said you won't be crap. They said you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. When you had a dream, they were the ones that squashed it. Not someone from a different culture, from a different skin color. But we love to grow up, and this is all part of what I'm talking about. We love to grow up and we want to blame something that's far off. Whether it's God or and something we know nothing about. Another culture, another people that we're not even close to. But it's the close things. It's the close things. And then it's our choices of how we respond to the things that are within arm's reach. So this idea that God is in control, or even God is the one to blame, it's crazy. I can tell you who's to blame for whatever, wherever you are in life. And it doesn't, and blame is not even a good word. Let's use the word responsible. Because you could be in a very good place. And I can tell you who's responsible for that. It's the people that are close to you. Because it goes back to this formula. What voices are you listening to? What voices are you hearing in your head every day? And after a while, actually those voices become your voice, yes. Actually what's coming out of your mouth and the decisions that you're making are actually an amalgamation of a compilation of voices that you heard for 1,090 days, repeated over and over again. And then you add another year onto it, and that same voice, and after a while it just gets to be set in stone. Why? Because your brain stops creating neurons and pathways, and it just keeps crossing the same bridge. You ever been in your neighborhood and the sidewalk goes this way and you go down the block, but nobody in the neighborhood uses that. Nobody walks the sidewalk. There's a little cut and a path. It's beaten down. And why would you ever walk on the sidewalk? When you just cut the corner, walk down the path, go through the bushes, boom, and you're there. That's how your brain is. You've been walking on the same cut, and you know who told you about the cut? Somebody said, why are you walking around there? And you're like, how did you get to the store so fast? Oh, you don't know about the cut? And then somebody shows you how to make the cut, and that's the way you go I get in my car, and sometimes I'm going someplace I don't even know, like I ain't supposed to be going. Because I get behind the wheel, every day it's the same thing. I turn right out of my driveway, and then I'm making that, and then I go down here, and I'm driving. And I'm like, dang, I might be halfway to Chester. For God, I needed to go to Prince George. But it's because I go the same way every day. I can do it without thinking. Your eyes blink without thinking. You breathe without thinking. Are you really not thinking? No, you are thinking. It's just so automatic and it's so fast that you're not conscious of it. It's just built into you at this point. Okay? So we've established. Now listen, but nonetheless, you have a choice. Voices turn into choices, choices turn into actions, actions turn into habits, habits will become routines, and routines will turn into a lifestyle. So whatever lifestyle you're living, it all started with the voices that now, here's the thing, when you were younger, you didn't have a lot of say over the voices that would be speaking into your life. Now you do. Now it's a choice. You can choose. Well, who are you going to listen to? For most of us, we like to listen to the same voice we've been listening to since we were 2 years old. The same style of voices, the same cultural voices, the same political voices, the same spiritual voices. It's just... Because we've adopted that as our truth. We've actually incorporated that into our identity. And now we just kind of lump it all in and go, God is in control. Like, no. And we gravitate to familiar voices. Something that resonates with something that we've agreed with in our past. And here's the crazy thing, here's the sad thing, is that we've agreed with these things. We've established that this is how we are and who we are and how we're going to think. And now, for the rest of our life, we will look for familiar voices to come into agreement and alignment with. Because that now becomes our truth. Well, who said it was truth to begin with? It was familiar. And Kenny, I'm thinking about you right now. Different things were spoken over our life. And we took it in and said, well, I guess it's true. Why? And we said, well, we guess it's true because the people that were saying it, it was over and over and over again, and they were bigger and they were more powerful, and so it was almost like, why do I even fight it now? Why do it? And maybe if there was an innocent part of you that scratched your head and were like, when you were innocent, you were pure, and we were pure, and we said, something doesn't seem right. They're saying they love me, but it don't feel like love. They're saying they care, but I'm getting smacked across the room. These are the people that are supposed to be teaching. I'm just telling you, our little brains were going, but it just happens all the time, and it's always the same. So after a while, you go, I guess this is true. I guess this is how it's supposed to be, because they're bigger. And then we always have this one thought that runs repeatedly through our heads every day when we're little is, I want to be like them. Why? Because they're big and they have power. And they can tie their shoes. We can't tie our shoes. And wow. I need them. They're important. They put my shoe on the right foot. They use big words. Wow. And that's what we think as kids. And as a child's going to admire these adults that are in our life, whether the adult is right or wrong, there's an admiration because they're big and they're powerful and they can do things, and then we create fears around those same people. And what those people say become gods to us.